Oh, he's getting it now.
Hey everyone, welcome to Metal Customs. We're going to be taking a little break for a day or two and not working on the Comet. But don't worry, there will be a video out Sunday on the Comet on what I've got accomplished this week thus far. But what I need to do is get back on this 95 Mustang. This thing needs to be finished up and needs to be sold so we can get some cash flow in this place. Last we was fooling with it. We had some issues. We got the fuse that operates the brake lights and the blinkers keeps popping. And the fuse that operates the interior light keeps popping. Well, the interior light I could live without, but we've got to have brake lights and we've got to have blinkers. So I've got to figure that problem out. And then we had the fuel leak, which turned out to be the fuel line here, which we got replaced already. So what I'm going to do right now, I've got the battery charging up, it's deader than a duck. So I'm going to put our air intake tube and all back on and hook everything back up. Let this charge up for a while. Right now, this is in the morning, it's only 40 degrees out here. Yeah, you'd think I'd have the heat on, but it's supposed to hit 70 today. So as soon as I get this thing fired up, and temperature rises just a little bit, I need to run it over and wash it. You can just see all the dust, and a lot of this is just fine metal shavings from me grinding and cutting and whatnot on the Comet project. So we want to just rinse this off with water, wash this thing. Then, where we repainted both our doors and this rear quarter, we need to do a little bit more water sanding and buffing, and just get it looking as good as we can, and then we'll deal with the electrical problems. But that's what's on tap for today, so while that battery's charging up, I'll get all this hooked back up, and then we'll get on it. Oh, got a quick wash on her. Yeah, it's a bad thing about living in the country and having well water spots. As you can see, I've got this water sanded, need to do a little bit more, and this quarter, get that buffed out. The rest of the car is not looking too bad. Yeah, I've got to clean that. Yeah, not too terrible. And we got to do a little bit more water sanding and buffing on that door. But I don't know, I think the old car won't look bad at all. I'm going to go ahead and pull it in there and shut it off. It's been running for about 45 minutes, and it needed it. Maybe charge that battery up a little bit, but hey, the whole thing just sits there and just keeps on ticking. That'll work. All right, now that we got her all cleaned up, we're going to mess it up again. I've got some 2000 wet and dry. I have a bucket here. There's soapy water in it. I'm going to get that piece good and wet. Sanding block, just in case there was some trash on it. All right, got me a rag in here. Remember, when you wet sand it, keep it wet. Now I do have some spray bottles and whatnot, but a lot of them they froze up out here, so using a rag is just fine. What we'll do is just start back here and just get with it and just basically try to sand nice and even. Watch your edges. Be super careful of your edges. If you have to, take you a separate piece of paper and get up there and get your edges. Yeah, I know I'm doing it. I'm not putting that much pressure on this, y'all. I'm not going to mess this edge up. Just a little bit where the tape was. And got some overspray on it. And I'm just going to run it straight down like this right here. Alright. Well, I'm going to keep on keeping on this here This is going to take a while. The thing about it, you'll know when you get a good smooth surface, because you'll feel less drag on the piece of sandpaper. I mean, on the rough paint, you can really feel it drag. But as I go along, like that there, I feel it getting easier and easier to sand. And keep in mind, don't go too far with your sanding. That's what I did the first time, and that's why I'm having to come back and paint, clear, resand, and rebuff this quarter, especially this quarter. I really ruined it. And then both doors had a couple of bad spots, so I wanted to try to get them taken care of. I think that quarter's just fine. All right, I'll go ahead and do this door and do this down here at the bottom, and then I'll run over to the other side and do the other door. Got my wet sanding done, and when I got through, I just took that soapy rag, wiped everything down, and took a clean wet rag, wiped it down, and then took another clean rag and dried it off. So now what we're going to do, we're going to start out with the rubbing compound. I use this 3M stuff. Y'all have seen me use this before, and I just like it. It's just like it's a three-step system. You got rubbing compound, machine polish, ultrafine machine polish. And it's got a pad that goes with each. You got a white pad, blue pad, and black pad. So we've got the white one on here. Hopefully I can operate this thing. Tell you what, that water sanding really wore me out. And here's the thing, guys. I'm not going to bore y'all, make y'all sit here and watch me buff on this car. But when you're buffing, and this thing goes clockwise, like right up here, I've got to come up here just a little bit where that line is right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to be like this, I'm going to be like this here. That way the buffing pad is going down. I don't want it coming up and hitting that hard line. That's what will burn your paint, your clear coat, what have you. So just be careful with that. Just like on your edges and things like that. I mean, I'll have the whole pad on here. But when I get to this edge, I am going to lift it up like that. I'm going to lift it up like that, my bad, because it goes clockwise. And come down on that edge, because it's a little bit higher than the door. Now, when I do the door, I'll actually open the door and just stick a block of wood or something in there, where I don't inadvertently beat on this edge right here a whole lot. See what I'm saying? Alright, well I'm going to go ahead and get on this here. Like I say, if there's some of y'all who would like to know how to buff out and things like that, I do have a specific video in the playlist that I believe I do this fender up here, and I show that real close and explain it real well, all the three compounds and the way that I go about it. But for this video, I'm going to go ahead and shut the camera off for a sec, well more than a sec, and I'm going to go ahead and get all this stuff buffed out, and we'll see what it turns out. We'll do the rubbing compound and the machine polish. I'm waiting on the ultrafine machine polish because I want to go over the whole car again with that for just one final buffing before it gets another wash, and we put some wax and a polish on this thing. Alright, well, enough yapping, I'm going to get to work. Alright, I just finished the quarter and the door with just the polishing compound. I'm hoping that the camera's picking up the difference from it being wet sanded and just doing the polishing compound. And it doesn't look too bad. I took a damp cloth and rubbed it all down. So what I'm going to do is jump over to the other side and hit that door. And then I'll do the machine polish. And after I do the machine polish, I'll crank the camera back up and let y'all check that out. And you can just see the difference in the wet sand, rubbing compound, and the polish. Now I just finished with the machine polish with the black pad, and like I say, hopefully the camera's picking up the difference between the 3 steps, water sanding, buffing compound, and then this polish right here. I mean, it's not looking too bad. Looks like I just had a lot of problems with this paint and issues here and there. But when all's said and done, I think the old car's going to look pretty nice and it should sell pretty good. Well, what I'm going to do next, probably call it a day. It's getting pretty late in the day. But we'll come back out here in the morning and drop it down. And I've got to work on that driver's door just a little more wet sanding, and then do the buffing and polishing on it. And then, like I said, I want to take this ultrafine machine polish and the blue pad and go over the whole car one more time, and try to get all the water spots and the small little things out of it, and see if we can get that nice deep gloss that we was going for. I know when I was washing it, man, with the water on it, this thing looked beautiful. So hopefully we can come close to that after we do the final polishing and then get some wax on it. But like I say, I'm going to call it. I'll see y'all in the morning. For y'all to be the second, for me it'll be more than a second. Well, everyone, so far I did get a good bit done. I am going to wait before I do the final polish on this thing with that ultrafine machine polish, because I'd like to get it washed one more time, get all this compound and stuff that I've slung on there. And of course dust is bad out here in the shop, so I don't want to be grinding crap into my paint. Well, the 70 degrees we had yesterday was beautiful, but that's gone. Hopefully maybe next week we'll get some warmer, nicer, rain-free weather, and I can get this thing back over and wash it and get it over here and try to get it polished out. Still have the electrical problems fixed, and there again I'm going to have to put that on hold. I already tried crawling in the car and getting under the dash, and my arm, especially my wrist, is just not going to get in there and hunt for bad wiring and stuff. So it's one of them bad things. It is what it is, and I just have to deal with it. But at least we got back on it some and give the car some attention. I hate that it's just sitting here and doing nothing. I don't know, I still may put it up for sale as is. I've undecided. But we'll just see what kind of time and what kind of weather I get. And if this will heal up, then I can crook my arms up in there and get what I need to get to and do that electrical work. But until then, I'm probably going to fire it up later on and stick it over in the paint booth maybe. I don't know. But for now, like I say, that's that. And I'm going to call it for this video. I'm going to try to get back to work on the 62 and see what I can accomplish on it. And we'll just go from there and see what happens. Well guys, appreciate you watching this video. Hope you enjoyed some of the stuff I done. I know I didn't get a ton done, but hey, something's better than nothing, right? And look for the future. We'll be getting back on this and getting it 100% wrapped up and see if we can get her sold. Again, appreciate it much. If y'all would, throw me down some comments, questions, suggestions, always appreciate it. If you're able, hit us up on Patreon, and please like, share, and subscribe. Again, thanks very much, and until the next one, I hope that everyone has a fantastic day.